Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, and this is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we are in double void summoning times at the time I'm making this video. If you're watching this video, please check that it's double void summoning, because it might not be by the time you watch it, and I don't want you to pull all your void shards and find that you don't get double chances. I thought because we are currently in double void summonings, I'll do a quick video to basically highlight who I think are the best void champions in rares, epics and legendaries, and kind of just give you all a feel for where I think I would use them and where they're best placed. So I've done it in a slightly different format. I just thought this might be quite helpful. So this is the way I've done it. Basically picked out each of the different champions that I think are decent, and obviously everyone can kind of have their own opinion on that. And then I've just kind of rated them from 1 to 5 in the different key areas of the game for me. So areas of the game being Clan Boss, Dragon, Fire Knight, Ice Golem, Spider and Arena. So let's start with some rares. I've recently done a video on the one top left, so Reliquary Tender. For me actually, in terms of a rare support, one of the best rare supports in the game. I think she's really relevant. So I've scored a 5 in the Dragon, 5 in the Ice Golem, but she still picks up 4s in Clan Boss and Spider. I think she could be decent in Arena and Fire Knight as well. I think as an all-rounder she's very good. So definitely one that I would advise people investing some time in. And if we go over to the next one, so we've got Harrier. Harrier, I reckon I must have had about 7 copies of him and just kind of had him sitting in my vault. But actually, looking at his kit, I think he could be pretty cool for Arena, building up in if you've got a rare and you want somebody that's trying to kick in some damage. So I think he could be pretty decent in Arena. I think he could do some work in Ice Golem for you as well. Otherwise, fairly mediocre. And it's a similar sort of story then with Skirmisher. So I've got Skirmisher as a kind of Arena specialist, but might be able to do a bit of work for you in Dragon. Otherwise, kind of ones across the board. So okay champion, not bad if you're kind of struggling for champions for the Arena, but I wouldn't invest too much in her. We've then got Bellower. So Bellower is really well known. He's got AoEs on all his abilities. I've showcased him in guides in a number of dungeons. Basically scored him 5 out of 5 for Dragon. It kind of not as good in Clan Boss, not as good in Fire Knight. He's okay in the Arena, but he's definitely very good in early game Spider and up until late game Ice Golem as well. So good all-round champion for a rare. We're then going to Veteran. So Veteran is, I'd say he only really specialises in Clan Boss and probably only in the early game up until around Brutal Clan Boss. Otherwise, his kit is okay, and he could kind of hold his own in other dungeons if you're struggling for champions, but he certainly won't be someone that you take into endgame. So I've stored him kind of, you see there, a bunch of 3s and 2s. Let's have a look at Fellhound. So Fellhound actually is really good. He's really good for a rare. Definitely one that's worth investing in. It's got this reflect ability, which means that on something like Fire Knights, it's almost the equivalent of having a counter attacker. Gets people to put their damage in as a kind of reflect damage and gets the shield down. But he's also pretty effective in Spider, Ice Golem and Dragon as well. So a decent rare to build up. So we've got one more page of rares. There's a few in here which I probably have not given too much time to. So Malbranche I think could be a good Arena specialist. Not particularly good anywhere else in the game. I'd be interested to see what sort of damage she can kick out in the Arena though. We've got Seducer that Stu Gaming has done quite a bit of work on in terms of videos. Decent actually, so he can definitely be your carry, like defensive carry in places like Dragon, Fire Knight and Ice Golem. Won't be doing a lot of damage, he just does quite a lot of team support. So we've got Cold Heart, who I just recently done a video on, and I called her Apothecary through the whole video. Which is pretty funny, but she is a Spider specialist, one of the best champions in the game for Spider. Also extremely good for Fire Knights and decent on Dragon. I don't think she really sort of holds her own in other areas of the game, but she's so strong on Spider and Fire Knight, even at the end game. We've then got Paragon. So Paragon for me is kind of decent on Spider. If you're trying to get through Spider 19, he can actually be your carry for that. But mainly on manual. He's better on manual than he is on auto because of the way he can make himself unkillable forever. We've then got Painkeeper. So Painkeeper is part of a lot of unkillable clan boss teams. So for that reason, I've rated her, I guess. I'm not sure. Her or him. I've rated it 5 out of 5 for clan boss. Also pretty decent in terms of dragon. Can act as a kind of poor man's Kai'Ma in terms of resetting abilities. So otherwise kind of mediocre across the board. And then Bulwark, kind of similar really. Clan boss specialist, but I don't think is particularly useful in other areas of the game. So that's the rares. Pulled out 12 rares that I thought would be decent. If you pull those in your Void Shard pulls, then definitely worth investing some time in. And let's get on to some epics. So epics for me, there's actually quite a lot of good epics in the Void category. We start getting some really interesting abilities. So we've got Man-Eater, who pretty much across the board is relevant. Less so in Arena, but can still be used in Arena. I think Spider is where he really shines. He's got the ability to reduce turn meter and steal that turn meter for himself. He can make people unkillable, which means that you can get people like Cold Hearts in your team getting their damage off without having to worry about them taking all the hits. Really good utility champion across the board, I'd say. We've then got Lightsworn. So Lightsworn is, again, good across the board. I used to use him in Spider 20 for a long time. He soaks up a lot of damage. He's got reduced turn meter in his kit. He's got unkillable in his kit. He's got decreased attack, decreased speed. He's a really good champion and relevant in Clan Boss. I used him as my attack down champion forever in Clan Boss. It took me forever to get a Tyrell or a Jareg. So I used him solely for that purpose until Nightmare. But he's also decent in Ice Golems as well. He's part of my Ice Golems team for a long time. So decent champion. He's definitely worth putting some time into if you pull Lightsworn. Just carry on then. So Seer. If you want to see how to play Seer, I would say go and check out Stu Gaming's videos. I've not seen a Seer do the sort of damage and the sort of speed runs that Stu can make her do. I've got one myself. I've tried it. I can't get her to do the same sort of stuff. She's really fun champion. She's got a really unique kit. She can absolutely wipe out waves in seconds. So yeah, really good champion. We've then got Padma. So Padma is a clan boss specialist, but she can be pretty useful in other areas of the game as well. I'd say mainly Ice Golems is where I would use her. But she's got a decreased attack on her A1, which is again good for clan boss. It's one of the most important abilities. So decent champion. And being a Void affinity for clan boss, that's really important because when you do get the affinity swing, she won't be affected by it. We've then got Umbral. Umbral I've done a guide on. I've done a lot of arena play with Umbral as well. I love Umbral in the arena. She's super fun. She becomes unkillable. She provokes everybody and she hits like a truck. She's also really cool for Ice Golems. So that second wave where you get the Hounds doing the Shriek, which kills all your team. She can just throw a block debuffs up and get you through that wave without any trouble at all. She's really cool. Then on to Lua. So Lua is an arena specialist. She's also really strong in the Spider. She's got a lot of AoE ability. She hits really hard. Definitely worth some. She's really good fun actually. Should be really good for an arena team for you. Okay, so we've got one more page of epics. Sylar is actually pretty similar to Lua in many ways. Got a lot of AoE damage. She hits really hard as well. Very good in the arena. Really great for early game spiders. Anything up to level 15 she is fantastic for. And I've even seen her right through to end game teams. She's got turn meter control. She's got AoE damage. She's really good. So let's go on to Madame Cerise. I've done a guide on her. She is really useful. She's got legendary status kit, I would say. So she is in my Platinum Arena team. She is insane in the arena. 5 out of 5 easily. She can wipe off people's buffs. She can then throw really powerful debuffs down as well. She's got shielding. She can make your team have a block debuffs up, which is really powerful. So yeah, so arena I think is where she really shines. She can be good on clan boss if you've got a debuff extender, and she can also be your kind of defense down champion for runs like dragons or ice golems or spider if you are struggling for that position. So all-round good champion. I put Faceless in here. I've not really done a lot of work with Faceless. I've seen people build him up so that he can one-shot opponents in the arena, which could be quite fun. But all I really know is that he's able to do that. So I've thrown him in as a 4. Not worth sleeping on, worth giving a go, but kind of depends what your arena team looks like. Skullcrown, probably one of the most well-known epics in the game. So she is an arena specialist. She is one of the most difficult champions to deal with in the arena, and she can nuke whole teams down, even if they're not debuffed with decreased defense. She hits hard. I've had her hitting over 100k per hit. You can build her in a number of ways. She's got AoEs coming out of her eyes. Really good champion. And because of that AoE damage, she's also really good in Spider and definitely like early game Dragon. So yeah, really, really cool champ. We then got Whisper. So Whisper's a new champion. Those that have got Amazon Prime will be able to get her for free relatively soon, I think in the next week or 2. She is super strong. She is going to be disgusting in the arena. I've already seen she one-shots people. She gets another turn. She one-shots someone else. She is going to be really strong. I'd recommend if anybody hasn't heard of the YouTuber Sir Jaxo. He has got a video out on her. Looks super fun. He's just literally one-shotting people all day long. Yeah, good fun. Looks like it's going to be a good champion, that one. I think she could also be almost like a poor man's Turvold in the clan boss as well, potentially, although I've not seen anyone trying that yet. But I think she might be a kind of decent offensive clan boss champion, potentially. And I think as well, because of her multi-hit, I think she could do well on Fire Knights. So, decent champion, I think. And then the last of the epics, I've got Galia Longbraid. So, one of the dwarves, again, an arena specialist. She's unique in this game, and I think there should be more like her in the way that when she does damage, she gains shielding depending on how hard she's hitting. So, in the same way, defensive champions are really good because the more defense they've got, the harder they are to kill and the harder they hit. She's similar in a way that more attack she's got, the more damage she does, the more shielding she gets. So really like the idea, love the concept of her. I think she'll be really cool in the arena. Got a 4 out of 5 there. I don't think she's great in other areas of the game. So let's move on then to Legendaries. Quite a few Legendaries to go through. This is definitely an area where I am hopeful in my void pool soon to get a few more. So let's start top left then. So Gurga the Under. Really cool champion. He is an arena specialist, can freeze a whole team, no problems. He is a spider specialist, can freeze all the spiderlings that are coming at you. Pair him with an HP burn champion and they are insane together. I really love him. I've had him for a while. I sat on him for a while and then realised that he'd be one of my best arena champs. Locks down a whole enemy team. Because of that CC, if you're struggling to get through any of the stage 20 content because of the waves, like the Dragon, the Ice Golem, the Fire Knight, then he can help you there as well because that freeze is insane. It's such a good ability. So yeah, Gurga, decent base stats as well, decent abilities, and yeah, goes in as one of the best legendaries in the Voids, I'd say. We've then got Krisk. I think Krisk is probably the person I've rated higher than anybody else in my ratings across the board. A near perfect hexagon here, so I've rated him 5 out of 5 almost across the board apart from Fire Knights. He brings so much protection, so much utility. He's literally a beast. I would love to get myself a Krisk. Warlord, I've got. Warlord is another kind of really great utility champion, can be used in pretty much any area of the game. Clan Boss is seen as one of the best in terms of debuff extenders. I think his best position is actually in the arena, but he's also fantastic in spiders for blocking debuffs, bringing massive shields. He's fantastic in ice golems to bring those shields when the big fella starts whacking his big axe around. So yeah, really cool champion. So let's go on to Krutraxa. So Krutraxa is an arena specialist. She one-shots people for fun. She one-shots massive tanks and doesn't even look twice. And I've seen RTZ do runs of Fire Knights with her, with Ice Golems with her, and she's just one-shotting waves. She like crucifies bosses. She's insane as a champion if you build her right. Really good champion. I've then put Anithi Blood Twin in. So I've got Anithi Blood Twin. He's a bit squishy. But in the current meta where there's so many different revive champions, he's actually an arena specialist if you can get him to work right. He can block revives. If you build him in a way that he does a kind of ton of damage, he will block people's revives, and then it gives you that edge. Because of that as well, he's actually quite useful in Ice Golem. So I am building him up at the moment to do, he's doing for me about 100k a hit. And against the two ads with the Ice Golem, as long as he kills them, they don't come back, which means the main Ice Golem chap is always weak. So it's a little bit RNG, but I have got him working. I've got him in runs at around sort of 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes. So that's pretty quick for Ice Golems. And yeah, really like him. I don't really like him. I think he's too squishy, but his kit is fun. So not a bad champ if you get him. So let's look at Darkseer. Darkseer is a utility champion. I'd say she's kind of a poor man's warlord. She brings decent shielding. She brings block debuffs, which are both good. She's definitely good in the Fire Knights. She's in my main Fire Knights team. She's got a decent A1, which decreases turn meter, which is helpful. And it also is a multi-hit, which is good for Fire Knights. And I think she brings general utility anywhere else, but nothing amazing. Kind of 3s and 4s instead of 5s. So let's go on to next page. Raglan. She's kind of come out of nowhere, really, and is pretty much insane. I think she must have got a buff at some point. Since that buff, she's been up there as top tier arena. She's got this revive, which is literally on like a couple of turns cooldown, which is mental. In the arena, it's insane. If you've got 2 revive champions and she's one of them, they're kind of constantly picking each other up. And because of that utility, so she brings an ability that removes all debuffs. She brings abilities that pull in more turn meter, heal, and revive. Just means that she's good across the board. And I think she's an arena specialist and a dragon specialist, and she also is just good across the board anywhere else. Good champion, definitely worth investing in if you get her. So let's look at Ethos. Ethos is another arena specialist. Massive hits. But massive hits in, AoE hits. Same as well with things like Spider, Dragon. Just a wave killer, nuker. You just need people in your team to keep him or it alive. Arbiter, probably most people know about Arbiter. One of the champions that you can get for free if you go through the mission quests. Brilliant utility champion. It's got revives, got speed ups, got healing, got weaken, got decreased debuffs in her kit. She's just an all-round specialist. If you put her in a clan boss team, which is all about speed, then she's one of the best champions in the game. If you put her in an arena team, she can revive your team, build her up tanky. I just think she's an excellent champion all round. Let's go on to Sir Nick. I would love to get me a Sir Nicholas. Really hard hitter. HP based, which is quite unique. It's got unkillable in his kit. He's got freeze in his kit. He's got shielding in his kit. Fantastic for clan boss when you get to kind of real end game and you want to do slightly different composition. Fantastic for the arena. And I think he's one of those champions that could fit pretty much anywhere in the game and do well. Let's move on to Venus. So I think Venus has got more utility in her kit in terms of damage capability than anyone else. She brings weakens, she brings decreased defense, she brings HP burn, she brings poisons. She is good just about anywhere in the game because of that. The only one where I've stored her down 1 point is Fire Knight because she doesn't have a multi-hit A1. But other than that, she's insane in this game. I would love a Venus. So let's go on to Turvold, another fun champion, arena specialist, hits harder than probably anyone else in the game for a single target hit. Relies on team composition to make him really work, so he needs a lot of people buffing him up. He does do self-buffing as well. He just hits like a truck. He can literally one-shot anybody in this game if he's built right. He's part of some really fun clan boss comps as well that kind of build themselves around him. And I think he would do well pretty much anywhere. I've put Dragon as the one which I think he would be most effective in. All I'm thinking there is the sort of people that I would be pairing him with, but I think he could do well in any aspect of this game. And then the last few, so we've got Solus. Solus I don't have, but I've seen people use Solus. I think he's very good for the arena, pretty good for Dragon, pretty good for Ice Golems, but pretty falls down in other areas of the game. But definitely for arena, could be an arena specialist for you. We've then got a true arena specialist. For me, that's the only area of the game that he shines, but others have told me that he is useful in places like Dragon and Spider and Ice Golems as well. But for arena, in terms of a unique champion that can kind of give you the edge in a fight, he's amazing. If you put him in something like Provoke Gear or Stun Gear, then he's even worse. He's like disgusting in that sort of gear because he locks teams out completely. And then last but not least, our good new friend, the Ice King himself, we've got Tormund. So Tormund the Cold, again, arena specialist, useful in the Spider. I think he's actually not very useful anywhere else. But those two areas he shines, arena especially, single-handedly changed the meta overnight, and would be, if you didn't get him through the fusion, then he would be a fantastic champion for you to pull. So that is it for me. That is the Void champions that I think you should be excited about if you pull them in the double chances. Yeah, this has been Hell Hades. Catch you soon.